Hi everyone. So in this video, we will explore like how to use local Ollama models because so far we have been using OpenAI models, and for which we need to pay them like number of tokens used, input and output. So the alternative ways, like when we are doing some testing and all, we can use open source and free model which we can install locally, like Ollama model, which we can use that. So first let's learn that, then we will, as I said, we will do the use case of like DBNSFP release update notes. Let's first learn a local Ollama model, and before that let's see Ollama. If you go to Google and just type Ollama, right? So Ollama is uh, is the model. So if you go, you can download it locally, like for Windows you can download it. They have the instructions for Windows, or you can for Linux you can follow the instruction for downloading like curl, this kind of thing. So once you install, right, it will launch the server, and then you can pull any of these models. Okay, so you have different models you can filter, like for example you can something model that supports tool or that supports thinking, or you can sort them with newest kind of thing, like that, and you can pull it. So I like to use the GPT-OSS. Recently, this was the model that is used by that is provided by OpenAI, and you see this is just 2 months ago, and this is the open weight model, and this is designed for powerful reasoning. So this model has reasoning ability. That means it can think, it can break down the problem, and it is best for these agentic tasks. And yeah, and it supports tools, calling, thinking, those kind of things, and it has different 20 billion and 120 billion. So you should use this 20 billion because that's what laptop will work, and this model size when you download it will be around 14 GB download. And how you can download, once your Ollama is installed, you can let me show you. Like, so I have already installed, so I can just type Ollama list, so it will list all the run model in my all the model I have pulled, like Deepseek, Llama 3.1, GPT-OSS. Those can see I have installed the GPT-OSS, which is the latest one. The when I say latest, basically it points to 20 billion parameter, which is 14 GB of size, and again this much RAM would be required free in order to, if I use this model. And something Llama 3.2, this is not that great for tool calling agentic task, but for normal chat you can use it. Okay, so if you want to try locally, right, so you can do one thing. Okay, let's try Ollama list, right? So you can type Ollama run, and you can give this name. So now this is actually locally, I am now this model, this LLM models are installed in my system, and Ollama is running on in my local host on some port. Okay, so now here I can chat hi, I am PP. Okay, so now you see, now you can get a response like this, but this may what is today's date. Now problem is, like, this model uh, okay, it is saying I did not ask that way. Let's see, when was you last trained? I was trained up to December 2023. See, so that means this model, when I, even if I pull today, this model was trained up to December 2023. That means it has knowledge up to that. So beyond that, it doesn't have any knowledge, and it says that it is trained, it has learned web pages, books, articles, like that. So this way you can, up to 2023, whatever it has learned, it can able to answer. But beyond that, if you ask today's question, it will it will not be able to answer it. So that's the local model is all about, and that's where you can equip some tools to make it empowered. But that was I was showing, like how to interact with the local LLM agent. And now this is running in my where does it running? In my local host on port number 11434. When you install Ollama runs on this port. It is available, and so that you can interact it on this localhost 11431 API endpoints. Okay, so that's how the local Ollama model, and I do not have to pay for it. Okay, so now let's see how we can use this model. Okay, two-step process again. you need to import two library. One is async openAI from openAI. This is because we will be interacting asynchronously with this Ollama models, and from this agents package we'll import this is openAI chart completion model. Okay, so these two we need to import, and basically you call the first one to create a client. So basically here we are defining an client. That client will interact with this Ollama server, which is running on my in my laptop on this port. Okay, so basically first line of code is like you are creating a client. That means that we are creating connection between openAI and our Ollama model. See, still we are using openAI SDK agent, right? We are using their code to do that, but now the brain, we are not using their brain, we are not using GPT models, but we are using local model. So that's where we need to provide some client that will associate this openAI agent where we are writing our code, our agent, to use this local model, LLM model. So that's where in order to establish that connection we need that client. So we establish a client. Now we are now creating telling this client which model to use. So that's where we are telling that the client is this one, openAI client is the client what we created, and we are using the model which model I want. So in my laptop, as I said, we had 3-4 models, right? I am using this model, you can give the name, and that's all. So what model and what client, and then you call this function, then the model, you get a model. Now this you can use in your agent code, 2 line of code, that's all. So that's what we will be doing. So let's import all these things. It will ask for my environment, so let me load it. It might take some time, so I will pause my video for a few seconds. Okay, so it loaded my environment and it took around 15 seconds to load all these packages. So basically what I did, I loaded this async openAI, and this one or older one agent runner. So this is the one new one added, and this was there for session memory. Okay, so it's loaded now, and now I'm loading my environment here. So this is a different notebook. Okay, see, two local. So the second one from my GitHub repository. So my environment is true, means okay, good, all the keys what I have defined in this one got loaded here. So now 2 line of code. So I am using now client, and then I'm using which model I want to use, and the model I am defined here. So you can use GPT-OSS as well. Okay, so let's go, because this is, as I said, this is 13 GB RAM it will take, right? It may or may not work. I need to delete some. I'm not using very good, I mean I have very 15 GB RAM is available, probably it should work, but if not I will use for now this one. Okay, so let's create a model with this 2 GB one, small one. So now my model is defined. So now this brain what I created is a local brain which is running in my system, but rest of the code same. I'm now creating an agent, so I'm giving some by and for local agent name, so I change the name, and I'm giving some instruction that you are a helpful bioinformatics assistant using local LLM server, and the model is what I created. So my agent is simply defined. See, such, that's all. Instead of OpenAI, this. So here we were directly using model whatever. So here we were using GPT 4.1 nano here, but now here we are using the model parameter what we defined here, which is the Llama 3.2 latest one. Okay, so I've created my agent here, and now the same, everything remains same. Okay, nothing changes. You created a session, pass the session object, and do the chat interface. Now this is now running in my local system. Okay, so that's where my response might be a little slow, but let's see. So it opened now chat window. So now this is chat with the bioinformatics expert. So hi, I am PP. Okay, so now what will happen? Now this is not sending query to OpenAI, this is now sending query to my local LLM. Okay, so now that's what, let's check what happens in my traces. So in original OpenAI you will see this kind of, right, v1 post request it is sending to this OpenAI API endpoint, but now see when I use the local LLM what happens here. So now you see it doesn't call anything. Okay, so you don't see an API call, it called it so the, see, it is now the base URL is the local host. Okay, this is where it sent this query, and the input was the system prompt, you are a local this assistant, and the user asks this question MPP, and the output is look like this. So you see the interface is very different because this model has a different ways it takes the input and output. That's the OpenAI. So what you wrote a question over, what you did, this 2 line of code, right? When I say this, when it thinks that okay, the model is Llama 3.2, you generate the instruction like this. The input is not like simple input, it's in a JSON format, this, and the output is in the JSON format. That's why. So that's why this is a very abstraction behind what is happening here, but you get an idea that overall concept same. The system prompt, the user prompt, user query, and the output, input and output all goes, and everything is happens, and it is happening everything in my local system. Okay. So I think that's how my local agent works. Okay. But one more thing, like if you want to use let's say Google Gemini, see, we are using OpenAI SDK agent to build the agent, but the brain, you don't need it. You are not focused only, you are not mandatory to use OpenAI models. You can still use Gemini, Deepseek model. So basically each of this provider, they provided some OpenAI URLs which we can use. So basically this is the, so Gemini guys from the Google, they have said that if you want to use OpenAI SDK agent to write your agent, then you please use this URL so that your OpenAI agent can connect to the Gemini models via this one. So that means our agent will send the request to this URL and do all the steps, and everything happens in the Google. Same if you are using Deepseek, then the URL is different. They say that okay, you use this one and send the query, but the concept remains same, right? Code remains same. So here you are using these two, and instead of, you created 2 client and 2 completion model, and what model you want to use and what client you are giving. That's all, and rest everything same. Here you, for Deepseek agent you can pass the Deepseek model, for Gemini agent you can pass the Gemini model, and the rest everything remains same. But the only drawback is that you need to get an API key for it. Okay, and you need to store it. So in you need to store those API keys needed. Yeah, so these are the 2 Deepseek API key, and from Google Gemini we need Google underscore API underscore key. How we have stored over here in this file, I don't have that, so that's, it will not work. Anyways, you have to pay for it. You have to this API you need to put some, I think OpenAI is very easy because you don't have to pay. $5 credit is given by them, but for here you have to pay upfront $2 something, then you will be active. Okay, so I have not created that, but this is the way you can use these 2 agent. Okay. Okay, so in short, what we saw, like in this video, saw the how to use our local Ollama model. So basically we created agent using OpenAI framework, but the brain what we gave now is a local LLM model that ran in my local laptop. But I forgot to mention, let's try to use this model. So I will show you the reasoning part, the difference between this one versus this one. Okay, this one. So now let's change this one. So instead of Llama 3.2, let's use GPT-OSS. Okay, this is a 13 GB model, very it will take some more time, but this has the reasoning capability, and you will see how it thinks. So that's I wanted to show you. So I have created now the GPT-OSS model, and now I'm again creating my agent with this GPT-OSS model. Now let's run. Okay, so now I am PP. Okay, so now this model is it is running where it will run on the GPT-OSS, which is a reasoning and thinking model. Okay, and this may take some time, but meanwhile we can see what is happening in the here. Okay, traces. So you see it called here. So now no span found, because it's, as I said, it's very slow, right? Because 13 GB and my laptop is a bit slow. So what I'll do, I'll just pause for a minute. Okay, then when it finishes, I'll be back. Okay, so this finished, I'm back. So what we did, like, so let's see what happens. So it called this agent. and you see it is using now GPT-OSS model. Okay, and this is the URL, that means locally it is running. And you see the input system prompt. This is the user prompt. User asked the question, hi MPP. So now you will see something extra parameter called reasoning. This was not there in that the other agent. So see, reasoning is now thinking. We need to respond to a greetings. The user says, hi, I am PP. We can say hello, ask what can help. So this is how the it is able to think. So we will see, we'll be using this GPT-OSS later on during use cases. You will see that how it is thinking when I'm asking let's say when we do the use case, right, like fetch the release notes, then the model will think, react, reason, plan, and then act. That framework we will see in the next video. Okay, so I got response. I asked, hi, I'm PP. Hi PP, how can I assist with the bioinformatics today? Because the agent is about all that. And if you have any questions or anything, then please let me know. So now this is all happening where? In my local system. So I did not pay anything for it. Okay, so even if these traces are there, but we don't have to pay anything for the token it consumed. Okay, I hope you like this content. So here we, in summary, we talked about how to interact with the local Ollama model. We explored two different model, the Llama 3 and the GPT-OSS, the reasoning model, where I showed how the reasoning works. And then I showed you how to use like Google Gemini, Deepseek. Even if I did not show you the actual practical, but the process is same. Okay, I hope you like this video, and next we will do the actual use cases that I told, right? We'll be using in DBNSAP database release checker use case. We'll be we'll doing some nice use case. Okay, I hope you like this video, and once again, subscribe if you have not subscribed, and share it among your network. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.